We see the immediate save switch into Frillish and out comes Cactus. And the thing we're running Spice is not everyone knows the moveset. We've got Ice Beam and we're full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have something a little different from our usual content. There's two things I love about the Go Battle League: Shadow Pokemon and Spice. And today we have the perfect combination of both. I've recently been discussing on my Discord just how disinterested the player base is with PvP currently. I can tell that in two ways, to be honest. Firstly, I seem to be pairing up against people I know every single set. Today, for example, I played my Gym Breakers teammate Gary Cabbage not once but twice in consecutive sets. The second way I can tell is views on YouTube have been horrendous. My views have been dreadful, I'll be honest. I'm getting no views whatsoever. It kind of is what it is, but I'm not the only one. I've seen other content creators vent their frustration on platforms such as Discord and Twitter. As a content creator, I think not only have you got to showcase cool teams that you can climb with, however, there's a lot of people already doing that. Secondly, I think it's got to be entertaining. So I dropped an enormous 1.2 million Stardust to power up two perfect IV, level 50 Shadow Ghost with Frillish and Pumpkaboo respectively. Are either of these Pokemon particularly good? They're not bad if I'm being honest, but there's plenty of cheaper, more meta-relevant Pokemon you can run. However, if I don't showcase this combination, where else will you see it? If you appreciate the massive resources, time and investment I've put into creating this video, do me a favour, smash that like so hopefully this video doesn't flop like all my previous ones. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead Marowak into Gliscopod. So I didn't talk about my thought process on my team building. Of course, running double Ghost, I didn't fancy Cacturn being my dad, so I thought I need a hard check for that. That kind of gives you two choices. You can either run Marowak or Poliwrath. I opted for Marowak because I want to be good into opposing grass types, especially stuff like Tropius. That has risen in popularity. If you're on Poliwrath, you're just going to get swept. Another reason for not opting for Poliwrath is this Galarian Weezing that is here, there and every fucking where would cause that combination of team a huge issue. I send out Marowak, the opponent pivots into Jellicent. I see no reason to bait. I'm full sending the Poliwrath, looking to do massive damage. We do exactly that. And here comes the Pumpkin. The opponent only going to get one opportunity to throw the Shadow Ball, which I will be respecting. The opponent falls in the Shadow Ball. The Pumpkin going to look for that full Astonish farm down, which we're able to get. A lot of Weezing in this meta are an Overheat and Sludge, but this opponent's already shown Brutal Swing, so I anticipate that being the hardest move left in the game. The opponent actually fire off the Sludge. I saw Callum ask the question yesterday. Does a neutral Sludge do more than a Brutal Swing? It does not. In this matchup, a Brutal Swing would have done 42.5% and a Sludge would do 40. X's are actually 39.7, so either way I invested a good protection. We fire off the Foul Play, try and snipe with the Fire Fangs, and Marowak's bulk about to be put to the test. Aqua Jet doesn't get the job done. We Fire Fang farm down and take that game. In the next battle, we see Feraligatr in the lead position. What the heck is this thing doing on my screen? We should fully wall this moveset. Although, spoiler alert, this opponent's running Crunch, and you can see I'm very tilted here. I don't even wait out my timer, which is a huge mistake, because I'm now going to be switch locked when a Tropius comes out. So don't be like me. Don't play tilted. Even if you get hit with a surprise nuke, wait out your timer and try and play optimally. This was only my second battle I played with a team, and I thought, bloody hell, I'm going to be in for a long day at the office. But if you're going to run Spice, you've got to maintain discipline. No real excuse for that, to be honest. The opponent going to fire off the Leaf Blade. Marowak is going to be able to get a very nice Fire Fang farm down, but we're down a Protect Shield. The opponent's got Tentacruel on the back, and this game was pretty much doomed from the offset, just via poor alignment. I don't think you're going to see too many Gators ranked outside the top 100 on PvPoke, and I think they're just better picks in the meta. But unfortunately, it's pretty good into my team. I think Wincons at this point is the opponent trying to shield flex, so when I see that Gator re-enter the arena, I'm going to full send the Grass Knot and see if the opponent wants to go for that 2 shield flex. We fire off the Grass Knot, the opponent not falling for any flexing nonsense, and they are going to take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see another tough lead. I think Mawie was great day 1, but I think nowadays people have like 1 or 2 checks on every single team for it. But I still need it, as of course I do need to have some sort of counter for that Cacturn. We farm up, we're able to make a catch onto Frillish. I'm not entirely sure how this ended up being CMP. I threw 3 hexes and the charge move, which is 9 turns. This game is so busted. We're able to fire off the Nightshade, force the protection. The opponent looking for that full Shadow Claw farm down, and Frillish holds strong, reaches the next Nightshade. Nightshade goes unshielded, and we get switch and shield advantage. Let's go, little buddy. Out comes Tentacruel. Very, very nice to have switch. We can send out our pumpkin here as Marowak, of course, wants to avoid this threat. The opponent farms to a potential sludge wave. As I've thrown 10 poison jabs, so I'm going to respect it. Unfortunately, I do get baited with the skull. I'm going to fire off the correct one astonish and the grass knot, looking to do maximum damage. Grass knot sneaks through the protect shield. The opponent going to be unable to reach a sludge here. This is just a skull. We've seen two things already good into Marowak, so hopefully it's got play in the back. I bank a charge move, make the pivot into Marowak, and out comes Jellicent. Unfortunately, Marowak has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, but we full send the play rough, sneaks through the protect shield, and I see a wink on. The opponent very much in danger of getting fast move beat down. I'm going to shield up the surf, fire off one Fire Fang and the power up punch. Of course, this is double resisted, but will be vamping up my Fire Fang damage. Power up punch, forced to final protection. The opponent's forced to throw instantly. We've got a charge move banked on our pumpkin. I'm just going to ensure Jellicent's still on the screen, which it is. We're going to fire off the foul play. Foul play. We'll be removing this Jellicent from the field of play. We're going to astonish farm down Tentacruel, and we're back to winning ways. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see my first of two battles against my Gym Breakers teammate. Shout out Team Island. I actually know this line of three as well, as Gary has sent me this for a battle submission that I will be shoutcasting later, and poor old Marowak has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. It's going to be big Squidward in the back. Of course, Marowak not particularly good into that matchup either, but I'd much prefer it aligned against Tentacruel as opposed to a Mod Boy. I am going to try and flip switch. However, Nightshade this season has been nerfed. Last season potentially would have been able to take back switch, but unfortunately a nerfed Nightshade simply doesn't get the job done. Despite playing the one shield scenario, I haven't flipped switch and I'm in huge danger. Marowak is going to be tasked with operating as a damage sponge. Glassy old Marowak doesn't fulfill that duty particularly well. I pivot into the pumpkin. We see Gary make a very clever play of banking a mud bomb before sending out Tentacruel. Gary knows I don't bait, but I'm full sending anyway. Grass knot, of course, forces the final protect shield. This isn't a sludge wave, but he plays this smart, firing off the Scold. Scold, even when resisted, does objectively more than an acid spray. I'm forced to throw this foul play on alignment. I go for a slight undercharge. I've undercharged it a bit too much. I think my wink on is somehow managing to farm this thing down and firing off a player off at Quagsire. However, switch timer's up. He's going to go for that wham, bam, combo play, serve me up the Big Mac and the fries that I didn't order, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's, buddy. Heading into the next battle, things are looking up. We see Tropius, the flying banana tree, in the lead. The opponent says no thank you, say switch into Squidward, and here comes Frillish. Frillish, a complete wall to every potential charge move. Even if they are purified one in return, that would also be double resisted. We tank the Scold, go for one Hex and the Nightshade. Nightshade goes unshielded. I think here I should have won them through, because potentially I'm opening up the door for the opponent to take back switch. The opponent lands the Scold. Again, we're going to commit to good timing. But even the resisted poison jab potentially can get the farm down. You're going to see the opponent has fought hard for switch advantage. That is going to cost them both shields, but the question then becomes, how important is switch in this battle? If the opponent's got like Gastro on the back, I am a complete potato. I'm going to send out the pumpkin, look to soak the energy. Potentially this is a sludge, but sludge hits for neutral, and this is a level 50 Pokemon. It's got reasonable bulk. Sludge does a solid chunk, and I am spamming the switch. Let's go Marowak. Out comes Jellicent. So one player off, we've already seen does like 65%, so it isn't going to one-shot. So the thought process is, I'm going to fire off the power-up punch first. Of course, this is double resisted, but it vamps up my attack. I'm now hoping that I can fire off this play rough, and play rough will remove them from the field of play. I fire off the play rough rocks them onto 1 HP in a dream. So there, I should have thrown 3 through on alignment because I win CMP and I wouldn't have had to burn the final protect shield. Back out comes Tropius. Things are going to get quite dicey. Marowak able to land the power-up punch on the CMP side. Power-up punch doesn't do much, but all chip damage is welcome. All I really need to do is get this thing into foul play range. The opponent fire off the aerial ace. Why? I'm not entirely sure. Leaf Blade, an objectively better move, but regardless, we're able to take that game. In the next battle, we see Lapras in the lead. The opponent sends out Cacturn. Trainer, what are you doing? I thought I was a potato at time. That is honestly one of the worst switches I've ever seen. I'm not sure if that's worse than the opponent the other day that switched out Bastion into GG Dog Shadow Machamp. It's probably up there or quite close. The opponent then switch locks their Tentacruel, so of course I'm just going to send out Frillish to hit the field of play to fully wall this moveset. Frillish going to fire off the Nightshade. I'll be honest, I was still bamboozled. The opponent looking to save 2 shields for Lapras, and that works for me. This move is going to be survivable, and we should even reach a Nightshade on the return in Lapras. The opponent hoping 2-shield Lapras is the key to victory. Nightshade forces that first Protect Shield here. I'm just going to chuck out the Pumpkin, force the energy. If they Ice Beam, so be it. A 2-shield Marowak should be able to clean up. The opponent is going to full send the Ice Beam. Poor old Pumpkin. I invested like 600,000 Stardust on it and it's straight in and straight out. We fire off the power-up punch. The opponent doesn't shield the first. They're likely going to shield the second, but the issue is you cannot shield fast moves. Fire Fang's going to tear through the remaining HP. We've still got 2 shields. It's a good time to start using them. I shield up the Sparkling Aura. Fire Fang farm down, and we take a very strange win. These battles were played like 2500 elo. Seems to be a very, very mixed bag of ability. Heading into the next battle, we see a commanding lead, and we are very much sitting in the driver's seat. As out comes Tentacle, and we immediately hard punish them with Frillish. Last time, I allowed the opponent to fight for switch advantage, so this time I'm going to play it differently. The opponent fire off the Acid Spray first, which I think is a mistake. Skull would have done objectively more. We're going to make the opponent make the first shielding decision of the game. Nightshade goes unshielded, and even with double debuff defense, Scold simply won't cut it. The opponent fire off the Scold. We leave minimal farm for that Cacturn, and this is like best case scenario. I send back out Mawie, the opponent pivots out into Jellicent, and here comes the Pumpkin. So in this battle, we're both hitting each other for super effective, but Astonish does more than Hex. The opponent makes a huge mistake, not farming up to the Shadow Balls. That's an easy no shield for me. Astonish, keeping pace. The opponent recognise there's nothing they can do, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see the Shadow Mawie mirror. Of course, I need my Mawie in case they've got a triple fast move pressure team. It's something like a Cacturn in the back. Speaking of which, out comes the Cacturn. Does this opponent know the moveset? I am full sending the Ice Beam. Ice Beam goes unshielded. Get that Cacturn off my screen. Back out comes Mawie Frillish. Still not done. Gonna fire off the Nightshade. Get that Mawie off my screen as well. Out comes Ferrothorn. And we take a very quick game. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Cradily in the lead position. It's a purified one as well, which is absolute sacrilege. So pressure's on me as I don't want to ever lose to a purified Pokemon. The opponent fire off the Rock Tomb on alignment like a lot of the people do, just trying to get their debuff off as soon as possible. I'm hoping even at -1 this play rough removes them from the field of play. But unfortunately it does not. I'm going to shield this up, keep Mawie around and pivot into my Frillish. The opponent needs to pivot out as they aren't reaching a charge move. The opponent recognises that and Klefki hits the field of play. I will be taking super effective from the combination of Astonish and Foul Play, but we're hitting the neutral in return, and we do get stab on our moves. Foul Play doesn't get stabbed from them and is survival from here. So we're going to either force a shield here in the mid-game matchup or just knock this Keyring, Earring, I don't know what this terrible Pokemon design is, from the field of play. The opponent invests that protection. I send back out Mawie. We're able to reach the power-up punch on the CMP tie. Power-up punch, a garbage move, but does pick up the knockout. The opponent sends out Gastrodon. The Pumpkin hits the field of play. All I've got to do is make sure the opponent doesn't make a catch. You know it's coming. I know it's coming. Everyone knows it's coming. Am I going to let that happen? No, I'm not. We Astonish farm down Cradily. Back out comes the Snail. We full send the first Grass Knot, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're able to reach Grass Knot number 2. Double super effective damage. Get that Snail off my screen. And we take that game. Gastrodon has very quickly become one of my least favourite Pokemon. It is such an alignment dependent pick. However, let's not get distracted. In the next battle, we see Gliscor in the lead. I attempt to catch a charge move onto Frillish. The catch attempt unsuccessful. The opponent opts to stay in. They're going to fire off back-to-back Aqua Jets. We're going to survive both. Then going to fire off one Hex and the Nightshade. Nightshade from this range probably won't knock out, but it'll be close. The opponent invests the Protect Shield. I look to reach one more, but unfortunately get fully Shadow Claw farmed down. Gliscor proving to be very much a problem for me today. I'm going to send out the Pumpkin. The opponent does have a charge move banked. I was hoping they instant through the Aqua Jet, but actually pause, see what's coming in. We're going to tank one X-Scissor, shield one X-Scissor, fully Astonish farm down, and then we've got energy on both our Pokemon. However, this Gliscor has pretty much ran through my team. Out comes yet another problematic Pokemon. Galarian Weezing. They are going to fully wall our charge moves. However, Grass Knot will do objectively more as it does get same type attack bonus. We land the Grass Knot. Pivot into Marowak, out comes Lapras. I full send the player off, trying sneaking it through the Protect Shield, and we do. If only this was a Shadow Lapras, we'd be able to Fire Fang farm down before the Sparkling Aura is reached. Unfortunately, they're able to reach it. Marowak gets the Fire Fang farm down. Back out comes Weezing. I'm just going to fire off the Power Up Punch and look to do as much fast move pressure as I physically can. The opponent plays this super smart, farming up to double charge moves. I make a catch for no reason whatsoever. One sludge moves me from the field of play, and even a resisted sludge will remove Marowak from the field of play. Nice energy management from my opponent. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we've got a second meeting against Gary. He's changed his team, and apparently I'm still running the same team. I usually try and make a catch here, but he's already shown me that he's running a mud boy, so I think Marowak's potentially dead weight. So it's actually a win for me in the zero shield scenario, so that is what I'm going to look to play out. We fire up the Play Rough forces the protect shield, and again we're going to send out Frillish to operate as the damage sponge. He's at 9 Shadow Claws, so I'm going to look to undertap this charge move. So I look to throw it at good time and I'll get hit with another one. He anticipates that play and makes a catch onto Lapras, but that kind of works out for me. I'm just going to really hope the Pumpkin is good with a shield advantage against what he's got in the back. We fire off one further Nightshade. Nightshade gets him reasonably low. At this point, Sparkling Aura definitely knocks me out. I am going to respect an Ice Beam, go for the one shield, full Astonish farm down, and please don't have something the Pumpkin's bad at. Come on, Gary, you've already beat me once. Don't make it 2 for 2. We shield up the Ice Beam. That's a good start. Oh, fuck my life. Galarian wheezing. Are you kidding? Gary's going to make me very fat in today's video. He serves me up yet another combo play that I did not order. The first Big Mac and fries was plenty, buddy. We fire off the foul play, but I literally cannot get rid of this wheezing. I am going to shield. Why? I don't know. I guess if you're playing a mate, you may as well play it out to the very bitter end. We fire off the Grass Knot, which of course wouldn't get the job done. And now he's going to full send an overheat. Is it necessary? Yeah, it's pretty funny, I guess. GG's, buddy. And I'll go 0-2 against my Gym Breakers teammate. Heading into the next battle. We're going to see another Gliscopod in the lead. So Marowak, of course, has access to Thunderfang as well. And I believe today we're going to see that uploaded from Henry. I know he's running Marowak. I know it's not on Firefang. Thunderfang seems to make so much sense. As look at this team. They are ABA weak to Electric. The main issue you're going to find is, after Henry uploads that video, you're going to see so many ground types running around. So unfortunately, unless you were already running it before you saw the upload, it probably isn't going to make sense anymore. As there's so few people playing Go Battle League, you've kind of got the copycats that run what content creators like Henry are running, or you run something to beat it. Take your pick and pick wisely. As always, I got hugely distracted. The opponent dumped all their energy, allowing Marowak to come in, get that full Firefang farm down. The opponent might have 2 shields, but I'm going to full send the Play Rough, picks up that one hit KO, and out comes Weezing. Weezing has been providing me so many problems, but with 2 shields and a lot of fast move pressure, I think we're home and dry. The opponent doesn't shield up the power up punch. They still need to overheat to knock me out as well, to be honest. Sludge doesn't get the job done. We're going to stay in, get off as much boosted Firefang damage as we physically can. Finally, the Pumpkin going to get its redemption. Astonish farming down Weezing, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Tropius, aka the Flying Banana Tree, in the lead, and the opponent's opting to stay in, which of course means that ABA weak to Marowak, or more likely ABA weak to Fire. I've actually got a massive soft spot for Tropius. The very first season of Battle Frontier, there was a meta where Tropius was insanely good. Around the same line of 3, for 17 consecutive battles going 17-0, Tropius was just popping off. The opponent sends out Gastron, attempting to snipe my Marowak. I panic switch into Frillish, but let's be honest, Frillish also pretty good here, but Pumpkin would be better as we do resist the ground type damage. Whereas Frillish takes neutral, but as I say that, look at the bulk, we hold strong, reach in one further Nightshade, removing them from the field of play, and there's the second thing that doesn't like to see fire. Marowak might be low, but how much HP do you really need to get rid of a grass type? We fire off the power up punch, vamps up my damage. I'm shielding everything. I am being a complete degen. The opponent fire off the aerial ace. We're going to fire off one further power up punch, and we are now going to be 2-stage boosted. This poor old Superior getting torn apart. The opponent finally able to Vine Whip farm me down, but one aerial ace simply won't cut it. Aerial ace doesn't get the same type attack bonus. The opponent combo into Tropius just to get farmed down. Superior also going to get farmed down, and we take that game. Who needs skill? Just tap your phone and apply fast move pressure. Heading into the next battle. Marowak into Lapras. They're going to reach the Sparkling Aura at the same time. I reach the power up punch. I attempt to make a catch, and the opponent not falling for any of my shenanigans. Amoonguss hits the field of play, and it's going to be greeted with the Ice Beam. Ice Beam super effective. Big bad bulky Amoonguss doesn't look all that bulky after all. We're then able to reach the Nightshade on the CMP tie and force ourselves a shield advantage here in the mid-game matchup. I can't shield this move as the opponent's only going to be like 1 astonish off the next foul play. So if I shield once, I'll be forced to shield twice. I'm going to send out Marowak, tank whatever they throw at worst. It's going to be a single resisted sludge or a grass knot. The opponent fire off the sludge, and let's hope that Marowak energy and the pumpkin with 2 to no shields is going to be good. Of course, there's Klefki in the back. We've already said that people love to copy Henry's team. This was his team at day 1. My charge moves are fully walled. I'm just going straight foul play, looking to try and force the final protect shield and just hope that a combination of astonishes and resisted foul plays knock this opponent out. It looks like they're saving the final shield for Lapras. The opponent throws, so Wink on here is going to be trying to land that play rough onto Lapras. The opponent not wanting to concede a farm down, send out Lapras, we full send. Play rough. Okay, goes unshielded. Can we fire Fang farm down before double sparkling Aurea? Come on, Marowak. In Marowak, I believe. No, we can't. Another very frustrating defeat. GG's to that opponent. I think this is essentially why I don't play. I find it super boring. Not only playing the same Pokemon, but literally the same teams. People just copy teams. Come on, guys. Have some imagination. In the next battle, we hard lose lead. We say switch into Frillish, and apparently we're hard countered. No, we're not. The opponent fucked about. They found out. Frillish, once again, taking back switch of a cactus, which is things you love to see. Out comes Tentacruel, and this Frillish still not done. Oh, just missing out on the next one there. I didn't throw out the best timing. So when people switch out now, I'm like, do I throw out good timing or do I anticipate one turn bring in? This game is so busted. Yet another reason I don't play too much. I think nowadays you can just spam your charge moves whenever. What's the point of trying to have good game mechanics when the game doesn't work as intended? As you can tell, I am very frustrated. I hope Scopely, now you're owning this company, can you have some attempt at fixing PvP, as I'm giving it less than 1 year and this game is going to be dead and gone. I'm massively distracted, going off on a mad tangent. The opponent looks like they've chose their fate of dying with 2 shields. We're going to astonish farm down and we're going to very quickly move on to the next battle. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, looks like we are running it back. We say switch into Frillish. And this time, a Cacturn doesn't hit the field of play, but this matchup certainly playable. Think of Jellicent, it's pretty much the same Pokemon. We just got Nightshade over Shadow Ball. Who's really going to double resisted Beta Ghost type? Hopefully not my Savage and opponent. We correctly shield up the Earth Power, and that definitely gives us the opportunity to look to realign. We fire off the next Nightshade. Nightshade goes shielded, but Frillish going to be able to outpace to the next Nightshade. And if the opponent wants switch, it's going to cost them both shields. Frillish able to take back switch. Back out comes Tentacruel, and Tentacruel also going to be greeted with yet another Nightshade. Frillish actually putting in so much work here. This thing's ranked like 121st on PvPoke. I think it's a lot better than the ranking suggests. Tentacruel force to dump energy. They're going to fire off the Acid Spray, which is great information to know. I guess Acid Spray Sludge is actually a recommended moveset, but I think most people on Acid Spray do run Scald. I don't even care. Just throw what you want at this point, trainer. They're going to fire off one further Acid Spray. We're going to get that full Astonish farm down. That third happens to be Poliwrath, and we all know how this one ends. We're firing off the Grass Knot. The first Grass Knot forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We've still got that shield to hide behind. We're not going to need it. We reach the next Grass Knot, and it's going to be high Poliwrath by Poliwrath, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. The Battle of Shadow damage are very much in my favour. The opponent retreat into Tentacruel. Frillish hits the field of play. I thought the opponent conceded the match. I guess they're just lagging. I'm not entirely sure. But we're very much in the driver's seat. It looks like we're still lagging. What is going on? Nightshade goes unshielded. The opponent can quite literally throw whatever they like. I'm not entirely sure where the opponent's energy's at. I'm not sure if that is visual lag or actual lag. The opponent fire off the Scald. We're going to heavily over farming up to 100 energy before unleashing the next Nightshade. Nightshade goes unshielded, removing Tentacruel from the field of play. Back out comes the Cactus. The opponent quite unlikely to shield. They know we've got Mawie. Frillish knocks out yet another Cactus. You absolutely love to see it. The opponent sends out Mawie, running a very nonsense, fast move, pressure orientated team. To be fair, I'm kind of running a degen team myself. I don't really need to commentate too much. The battle of fast move pressure. We're both going to have 2 shields intact, and I am going to emerge victorious. Heading into the next battle, yet more nonsense fast move pressure. The opponent saves switch into Jellicent, and I send out Frillish. The reason I've gone Frillish rather than the Pumpkin is that we pace a bit quicker here. Jellicent's pace into Shadow Wall is 5-4-4. Frillish's pace into these Nightshades is 4-3-4-3. And we also have the higher attack. We're like 109, they're like 106. You're going to see the opponent ends up playing to that CMP tie. They do not win. All down 1 protect shield, unwilling to shield twice, and we maintain alignment. The opponent send back out Marowak, and it's going to be a very difficult Fire Fang farm down from here. We've got energy and a fair amount of health. The first Nightshade goes unshielded. The opponent sends out Gastrodon. We bank the Nightshade, show them the Pumpkin, the opponent not wanting any of that smoke, and they concede the match. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see a Moongus in the lead. The opponent save switch into their own Marowak. We bank a boatload of energy and look to catch the power up punch, which is double resisted onto Frillish. I'm actually just going to go for the 1 shield. Full Hex farm down now, and I'm going to force that shield back off that Amoongus when it should return. Unfortunately, we actually shield up an Ironhead, which is kind of rough. I wish it was a play rough, as that would have been a better shield. But you can see that even the boosted Fire Fangs with a boosted Ironhead, potentially I would have needed to shield anyway, so not the worst shield. Back out comes Amoongus. We're going to fire off the Ice Beam. The first Ice Beam goes unshielded, doing half the health, meaning the second one is going to need to be shielded or just cleanly knock them out. It's completely up to my opponent. They invest that protection. They're going to get a massive Astonish farm down. Marowak still healthy enough to survive, or at least I anticipate surviving a sludge. As they're not Shadow, I don't think we're in sludge range. Let's see. If we survive, we're also going to get that Fire Fang off as the opponent through an alignment. It's just a foul play, which is an easy tank. Out comes Galarian Weezing. Not what I wanted to see in the back. I fire off the player off, wanting to get some damage on him. Unfortunately, it does go shield, and I'm forced to send out the Pumpkin. If the opponent goes straight over here, it's probably night, sleep tight. Thankfully, it's just a sludge. The opponent here again for an alignment, and I'll certainly take that. This now leaves them completely energy. I'm going to fire off 1 Astonish and the Grass Knots. They're on 2 Fairy Winds. They're going to be 3 off the next sludge. They're 1 off. Oh boy. So here I attempt to Astonish farm down, not wanting to give the opponent the energy they require to knock out Marowak. The question is, can they survive a Fire Fang to reach the charge move? They cannot. They would have thrown it better timing. They would have won that game, but it is what it is. We'll take all the victories we can get. GG's to that opponent. And that is just about going to wrap things up. My 1.2 million level 50 double go strategy in the Spring Cup. Should you try this team out yourself? I'll be honest, it was nowhere near as bad as I was expecting, but there's probably better ways to spend all your resources. If you made it to this point in the video, I salute you. Post the word orange down below to let me know that someone has actually watched 27 minutes of me talking quite a lot of nonsense. I don't know if today was my best work. I think it's no secret that I'm growing increasingly frustrated with this game. I'm one of the OGs. I've played PvP all the way since pre-season. I've made content since Season 8, and I can literally see the game dying. The player base is getting smaller and smaller. Game state issues still remain. Please, Scopely, do something to fix this game. Give us an interlude season. Just try and fix it. Please give players more accessible Pokemon as well. Of course, I can't really comment. I have spent ridiculous resources, but this, of course, is just for your entertainment. We need more Pokemon in some of the open leagues that don't require stupid amounts of XL candy. We need players to be able to pick the game up, go outside, catch a few Pokemon, and actually be able to be competitive in Pokemon Go PvP. I could rant about this forever, but I guess no one's really caring. Scopely certainly don't. So I'm just going to say, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. The link to our battles feature form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.